Hi, my name is Riley Labrador, and today we're hopping on some bandwagons, boys. We're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. It's been a pretty crazy week for a lot of people. TikTok bans happening tomorrow, president is being elected on Monday, fires still happening for some unknown reason, and amongst all of that, for the gamers, the Switch 2 was dropped randomly on a Thursday morning, it's like 5:30 a.m. No warning beforehand, no like announcement saying, hey, like we're gonna announce something tomorrow morning, keep your eyes out. No, here you go, 6 a.m. in the morning. Our brand new console that's gonna come out in like 5 months now. I don't think it's a like revelation that I'm a Nintendo fan. I mean, I've talked about it before. You know, my first game ever was Pokemon Platinum. I had a DS. I still love Nintendo with all my heart. Have I turned on my Nintendo Switch recently? I kind of wanted to look at it from my perspective at least, and just tell you what I think of the reveal, what I think of the console itself, or what we know about it so far, and kind of just go by step on each individual thing, because there is actually a lot to talk about as someone who has not talked about the Switch 2 beforehand. Let's start with the elephant in the room here, the leaks. So if you're not in the know, or if you're one of the few people that didn't look at them, good on you, really happy for you. Switch 2 was unfortunately leaked by several accessory companies like in September, and it was pretty much exactly what we saw in the trailer. Like, it was very accurate, and we kind of had an idea that it was very accurate just based off of like the notes and like the sheets. Like, they are very realistic looking blueprints. So going into the reveal on Thursday, we pretty much already saw the console for most people who are like keeping track of it. And a lot of people will say like, oh, like that killed the reveal, like because we knew so much about it beforehand. We weren't very overwhelmed when we look at the trailer itself. And it's hard to say what the perspective would be for a general audience, because I'm not a general audience, I'm a fan. I'm someone who did keep track of that, who did know about that. So it's hard to say what the actual like interpretation of the Switch 2 would be to someone who did not look at that. But I don't think they would be exactly overwhelmed either. I mean, the Switch 2 is a pretty direct sequel in comparison to other Nintendo consoles. Like, we're talking like GameCube, Wii U, Switch. They're so vastly different in size and shape and what they gimmick and what they do and name. And comparing the Switch to the Switch 2, it's like, it's slightly bigger. It's got magnetic Joy-Cons now. There's a couple interesting features in it, but other than that, it's a very obviously looking Switch. Like, it's like a, yeah, if I had to make a Switch 2, that's about what I would make it. It's very safe for Nintendo. Same thing with the name too, Switch 2. There's not been a single Nintendo console beforehand that's used a Direct 2. A lot of people are saying it's boring, a lot of people are saying it's lame. Yes, I would agree. It's straightforward and to the point. Like everyone, you can look at that and say, yep, Switch 2. Okay, it's the second Switch. And I think that's the point of it. They were really afraid of having another Wii U situation. The reason, one of the factors, the reason why Wii U didn't sell well was because a lot of people at the start didn't understand that the Wii U was a successor to the Wii and not just like an add-on. There's definitely routes they could have gone, but I think Switch 2 is probably the safest thing. That's the whole thesis about the Switch 2. It's safe. And the plus side of that is that it's safe, you know, like it's a better Switch. That's good, you know. A lot of people just like the Switch for what it is and don't need anything else. Downside is it's a very safe option. So if anyone was looking for something vastly different, if anyone was looking for like Nintendo's like genius innovation, you're not really gonna get that with the Switch 2. It's stronger, more power. However, with it being Nintendo, there is some interesting gimmicks with it. Most notably, I want to talk about the magnetic locks. So instead of the rails that the Switch originally had, this one has like magnetics on their Joy-Cons that just snap in. Very cool. I like that. I think it's definitely safer than the rail system. However, a lot of people have been worrying about the little peg that's inside of the Switch. Like, a lot of people are worried that if you put it in and you waggle it, it's gonna be easy for that little piece to snap off, and that's on the console itself. So if that snaps on, you probably have to replace the entire console. It sucks, and I do see the worries of it. It's like a little like nub, like it seems like it's easy to just just snap it. Like, but this is Nintendo we're talking about. I had a DS when I was like 6, and that thing went through hell and back. So, and it's still kicking around today. So, I respect their build process, and I'm choosing to believe that they tested that, and it's not gonna break for most people. So I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt with that. What I am worried about is stick drift. Joy-Con stick drift was a really big issue. I had like 4+ sets of Joy-Cons over the past 8 years, and 2 of them had drift. That's why I got the other sets. Your Joy-Cons just wear down, and it made me nervous about actually using the console, because I was like, oh god, what am I, like if I use it too much, the Joy-Cons are gonna break, and I'm not gonna be, then I'm gonna buy 80+ new Joy-Cons. That sucks. So that's a really big issue, and I really hope Nintendo corrects it. Do I think they will? Nintendo did show off like the joystick like turning around. Maybe that was a sign of it being fixed. That's just speculation at this point. So hoping about that, because that was a serious problem with the previous Switch. I hope they address that with the new Joy-Cons. I want to talk about the most interesting thing for me about these new Joy-Cons are inside of the Joy-Con itself is a optical sensor. Same thing that is used in mice. So this thing right here, it just tracks your movement based off of laser. That's on the Switch too, which implies you can use the Switch as a mouse. That is interesting for me. It's not a new idea. The Legion Go did something similar. They had like a detachable controllers that you can use as mice. But Nintendo using a mouse controller, that's not really something that's been super done before, besides like Mario Paint. And I'm really curious to see like if that is true, what the purpose of that is. I could see it being good in Splatoon 2 for like FPSs. I could see it being good in strategy games. Maybe Fire Emblem would be good for that. This is Nintendo, however, so they could be planning to use it for something super goofy, or use it once for a random game and then never again. So we'll have to see if Nintendo actually puts that controller option to use. We'll see on that. But I think it's a cool concept for sure for a new Joy-Con to have. In terms of power, in terms of graphics, a lot of people are saying like PS4 Pro area of power. So like those games, that's about what we're gonna get with the Switch 2. That's fine. As a Switch fan, I am someone who does not really care about performance. Well, I care about it enough for it to run well. I just need it to run. Like, I don't need 4K 60. That's nice. I don't have any monitors that support it. I don't need like high graphics, high fidelity. I'm confident in Nintendo's ability to maximize what they have and make games look good. I just need them to run good. Like I need them to be playable. A lot of Switch games, especially near the end, were not that. Tears of the Kingdom, they spent a whole year trying to optimize it, and that shows. However, it is still slow, especially when you have 4 characters lying around and fights get crazy. It can slow down. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was terrible, but I think that might just be Game Freak being terrible also. There was a lot of games that just really neutered themselves by being in the Switch system, and I hope the Switch 2 will help alleviate that, at least for another 5 years. So it's all dependent about if Nintendo can make games for the Switch 2 that people are going to want the Switch 2 for. And it looks like they're doing that with at least their first showcase of a Switch 2 game, Mario Kart 9. And that's probably a good choice of launch title. Mario Kart 8 was the best-selling game for both Switch and Wii U. So it was definitely the right play, and I think it's definitely going to get a lot of people to buy it. 2017 was a really good year. It was a really good launch year. They had Breath of the Wild, they had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they had Mario Odyssey. They need to have that kind of level of launch year to really make the Switch 2 pop off, and I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off. I mean, it's hard because Breath of the Wild was a masterpiece of a game, But I think it's going to be a weaker launch than Switch. And I think it's going to be less or console selling than Switch. Like, usually sequels don't sell as well as consoles beforehand unless you're the PS2 and you just randomly pop off for some unknown reason. So, what are my overall thoughts about the Switch? Switch 2. I'm a Nintendo fan, so I'm going to buy it anyway. I'm just going to put it down right there. But, if you're a regular person who was thinking, should I buy the Switch 2 when it comes out? Mario Kart 9 is very cool, very tempting. So if you want to get it from Mario Kart 9, that is sick. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still very good. And also, we don't know yet if how expensive the Switch 2 is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be in like the $400 range, which sounds about right. If for $400 for Switch 2, I think it would be a good investment. Don't go for it right away. I am, but I'm really worried about scalpers. So give it a year or so, or like maybe 6 months, unless stock is really good, and then I think it will be worth it. I have confidence Nintendo is going to be supporting it. I think within a year or so, Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be worth buying. So yeah, if you want the next Mario game, the next Zelda game, next Kirby, Animal Crossing, all that, you're gonna have to migrate to Switch 2. It's gonna suck, but it's gonna be what it is. And I think the Switch 2 is gonna do well. So fingers crossed on that. They do need to fix those Joy-Cons though. I don't like the look of them. It's just so funny my change, because when I was like 14, when I was buying the Switch. Oh god, I was 14 when I bought the Switch. I was like, oh, I don't want the red and blue colors. I just want gray. And now I'm just like, that's boring. I want the Nintendo Flash. Like, give me a red and blue. Give me an obnoxious flashing red and blue. That's gonna be my Switch 2, baby.